Good morning, everyone. I'm Manan Bhatia, an 11th grader at Elpro International School. Let me start off by asking you a very simple question. Do you think that parenting styles of people is poles apart when they're parenting the first child versus when they're parenting the second one? The first child is like the unseen freeboard, whereas the second child is like the seen freeboard. Parents treat their first child as the project. So if you're the firstborn, you're expected to learn or rather excel everything known to mankind. So you then learn how to cycle, skate, play football, cricket, piano, guitar, art, sing, dance, public speaking, and whatnot. And finally, when the second one is born, parents just tell them one thing: do whatever you want to do, or rather, don't do whatever you don't want to do. So there's no pressure at all. So, how many of us in the audience are the firstborns? Please raise your hands. Quite a few, quite a few. Relatable. Well, looking at the pictures, you would have clearly guessed that I'm the firstborn. I am not generalizing things here, but I personally feel that with so much to do and so much on their platters, firstborns often end up being jack of all but master of none. But as you grow up, you start to question yourself: what is it that actually interests me? What is it that I actually like? Like many other kids, I was often sent to the playground to learn how to play football, cricket, or rather any sport that would interest me. I would go on the ground, see 11 people fight for one single ball, kick it into the ground, and celebrate. As a child, I wondered, why are 11 people fighting for one single ball? Why can't each one of them have their own footballs? Similarly, when I saw people play cricket, for example, for me, it was like the bowler saying, please take the ball, and the batsman saying, I don't want it. Clearly, sports didn't interest me. I'm not saying sports is bad or anything, but it just didn't fascinate me. So, when all my friends were busy playing different sports on the ground, I was found in a corner observing different shrubs, the tall trees, the colors of the flowers, and imagining why they were so, playing with different dogs at the pet parent spot for walk in the park, and then go home and search more about them. I remember this one specific year when our school had conducted the photography contest on the account of the World Photography Day. I reached home, I opened my phone gallery, and realized that majority of the photographs that I'd clicked in the past few months, or rather year, all depicted my love for plants and animals. This affection towards Mother Nature grew multifold each passing day. I would look for opportunities to spend more and more time with nature. For example, I would accompany my dad in his CSR events like the tree plantation drives and animal rescues. This gave wings to this love of mine. Well, in addition to all of this, I'm extremely fond of my ancestral house that has a huge terrace. It was originally being used as a junkyard, but you know how it's said: when the Cupid strikes, you see nothing but love. Similarly, to me, that open space was an opportunity to develop it into my own little garden. It was an opportunity to channelize all my energy and create my own me space. I did a little R&D on what plants are to be added to the right amount of nutrients to be present in the soil and devised a perfect plan to what I call today the Manan's garden. Well, what I didn't realize is that while the garden was getting developed, each time I bought a new plant, I was carrying it in a black plastic bag, which was A, non biodegradable, and B, single use plastic. Imagining these single use plastics fill landfills and cause land pollution was disturbing me day and night. I did a little research on these chlorinated plastics, and what I got to know was shocking. Apparently, these chlorinated plastics can release harmful chemicals into the surrounding soil that seep deep into the groundwater and surrounding water resources, and thereby into the ecosystem. It can potentially cause a range of harmful effects to the species that consume that water. Did you know that approximately 500 billion plastic bags are used on an annual basis, and thereby creating a 3,909 tons of plastic waste? On pondering and thoroughly brainstorming, I came up with a few alternatives to these bags. Well, being a fashionable and trendy teenager, I loved having canvas bags. What I didn't realize is that these canvas bags made up of cotton and hemp are extremely environment friendly, easily available in the market, and of course, made an excellent replacement to my plastic bags. The other day, while I was talking to my grandmom, I learned that when they were younger, they never really used to have plastic pots to pot their plants into. Instead, they used to pot them into pots made up of coir and cow dung cake. Now, to those of you who don't know what coir is, that fibrous material that constitutes of the thick middle layer of a coconut fruit. So I decided to make one of those. I started off by separating the coconut coir by soaking the coconut fruit in water. After separating it, I thoroughly cleaned it, and to ensure that it's sturdy, I dipped it into natural latex. And voila, such beautiful coir pots came out. These pots provided my plants with important nutrients like zinc, copper, iron, etc. The only problem to these pots was that it took me a little more than my pocket money to make these. The problem of expenses was finally solved using cow dung cake. I know, sounds a little weird, right? But hear me out. I am sure after listening to this, your perspective towards it will change. Did you know that cow dung cakes are not only beneficial to the environment but also to the soil? The root balls of these plants potted in such pots do not have to be disturbed while transferring to the ground. And one does not have to make a separate effort of digging a hole in the ground since the pot and plant are being potted together. Sounds interesting, right? And the solution to our problem. But there's one little flaw, that is the durability. The durability of these pots while they wait in the nurseries to be picked up by us. The other day, I was reading an article on cellulose pots. The article read that cellulose is the fibrous material that we obtain on mashing up plants thoroughly. Pots made up of such cellulose fiber are not only biodegradable, easily available in the market, fully biodegradable, and of course, durable. And surprisingly, it did not even cost me much. Well, you can also make them using paper and cardboard. And that is exactly when I shouted, Eureka! I had found the perfect solution to my plastic problem. Now, the thought that would now come to your mind is that are these solutions plausible? Are these solutions worth the effort? Do these solutions provide enough return of investment or ROI? Well, to answer your questions, I do agree that the initial effort to use these sustainable alternatives is higher and probably the initial cost too. But the return of investment is also proportionate. It is in the form of an eco friendly and clean environment, less fills and landfills, less land pollution, and it will be possible only and only if all of us pledge to use these sustainable products. Well, replacing plastic bags for nurseries and planting pots, it's just one instance from our day to day life. But there can be many others, like using cornstarch bags to dispose plastic or saying a strict no to single use plastic plates and spoons in house parties. It all depends on how strongly you believe towards the topic. It all depends on how strongly you believe towards the need to give our future generations a livable Mother Earth. It is now that we need to take actions. It is now that we need to take steps collectively to make this earth a better place to live in. Such small ideas can bring big differences to the world, provided all of us come together. Always remember, if you change nothing, nothing will change. Thank you so much.